Askreddit asks, what kind gesture actually annoys you?
Waving me on at a stop sign when they clearly have the right of way.
90% of the time you end up sitting there in confusion, wondering why they won't go longer than it would have taken them to just clear the goddamn intersection.
Not telling me something to protect me. Drives me crazy.
Or blowing something serious off as no big deal because they are trying to calm you.
My mom just had an overnight stay in the hospital and kept it from me. Nothing ended up being wrong. Thank God, but they wanted to keep her because of family history. She told me after she was released and couldn't seem to figure out why I was so upset.
Holding the door for me but from the inside of the door frame, so I have to scoot by them butt to crotch style edit. My first silver! Exclamation mark. Thank you! Exclamation mark. Loudly crying face, you must go butt to crotch as well. Comrade. Edit 2. I'm not worthy. Loudly crying face. I'm a beer delivery driver and I deal with gas stations a lot. I get these people all the time. And they don't realize they're just making it more difficult for me. Shit. I've had people open the door for me and then stand on the opposite side of the door with their arm up. Like they want me to go under their fucking arm. I get you're trying to help. But you're just being more in the way than if you just moved.
When passengers offer to give directions and basically force others to not use the GPS. And then they don't even give the directions properly, like they get distracted and then tell others at the last possible second to dive bomb a turn because they were in the wrong lane to begin with.
Yeah, the other night we were all over at turn left here, Dave's place and fuck.
When I am driving and someone is giving me directions, I always say, alright, where do I turn next? I'll let you know when we get close. No, you'll let me know now. Or so help me, I'll get GPS involved.
Fucking up the flow at an intersection by not taking your turn. And flagging others through. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the gold. I really hit on a hot topic. Edit. Is silver and platinum too? I feel like the only girl at the gangbang.
Drive correctly, not politely.
If you don't merge in zipper fashion, you're dead to us all. Letting 3 cars in to be polite completely disrupts the flow.
Going off this, you only need to do a few good deeds a day while driving. If you stop to let someone in at every single intersection, the people behind you will get annoyed.
Only takes one dick to stop a zipper.
When store associates come up to me 2 seconds after I've walked into the store asking if I'm finding everything okay.
At my store we're required. It sucks for us too. But we get secret shopped each month and get written up if we fail.
I worked at a store that sometimes had people from corporate come and watch us work and we had to do this or we got sent home, in trouble. I would cringe doing it. BC, I know it's annoying.
Breaking the order of how things should move in order to give someone the ability to go first. Now you are just confusing people and wasting time.
Be predictable. My college campus had one area that was super busy with both foot traffic and bicycles, and I saw several people get hit by bikes because they were trying to be polite. When really they just needed to be predictable.
Sympathetic Valentine's Day cards. The only thing worse than knowing that no one is attracted to me is knowing that someone pities me. Not having anyone be attracted to me is fairly easy to live with. Being pitied puts a dent my self-pride.
I didn't know that was a thing, honestly.
I choose you.
So I walk with a cane and I can't lift much. However, when I'm insisting that I can do a particularly small thing, it really upsets me when people insist on doing it for me anyway. It makes me feel weaker and embarrassed. Seriously. Offer people with handicaps help. Of course, please do that. But if they are insisting that they are fine, then please let them do that thing they're capable of. For me, it makes me feel just a little bit more empowered. Also, thank you for your kindness. I don't mean to diminish it or seem ungrateful.
Being thanked for my service when people find out I'm in the military. I'm a subpar Marine and have done nothing noteworthy. Edit. Thanks for the gold and the silver. I've heard this from lots of military members. My favorite was an ex-Air Force member who said, I don't know why anyone thanked me. I literally sat a day behind a computer for years. in the US, doing work that had literally no impact on our freedom.
When people feel compelled to eat with me if I'm eating alone. Where did this notion come from that it's sad to eat alone? I like it. It's peaceful.
I was in my work canteen a little while ago at the very edge of a row of tables. Completely alone. Maybe 24 seats, all empty, plus more empty tables and sofas in the room. I was reading a book. Two colleagues whose names I don't even know came in, sat right in front of me and didn't say a word to me or each other. I was so uncomfortable.
Same. I would eat lunch every day alone with a book. And people would feel compelled to sit down and start talking to me. Drove me nuts. Like, do you think I brought this book because I don't want to read it? Go away.
Receiving birthday or Christmas gift from loose acquaintance. Thus creating cycle of guilt or undesired effort.
I played the guilt card in the other direction this past Xmas. My wife died on the 1st of January 18. But I still went ahead and bought presents for all the family my wife would have. But I only received one from my daughter. I think my sil sent me a gift card to Chili's. But it got lost in the mail. Nothing from everyone else. I hope they got the point of, hey, am I still part of this family or not?
When someone is walking behind me and they push the button to make the automatic door open right as I'm trying to go through it. Thanks. Now I have to wait while this slow-ass door opens when I could have just quickly opened it myself.
I work in a large office with push-button doors for disabled people. I have no problem manually opening doors, it seems kind of basic to me. 99% of the people on this campus will push the button to automatically open the doors, creating that exact annoying situation. My thought every time inside is, you can't open a door. I just saw you jog across the parking lot. One time a mystery neighbor salted my steps. The steps really didn't need it, I had removed any snow, ice with a shovel. But the salt, which I initially didn't realize was there, hurt my dog's paws. Also, a guy at work wanted to help by scraping the snow off my car. He didn't just do my windshield. He did the hood too and scratched the fuck out of it with his scraper. Lastly, I have a beautiful, long, blue stone driveway. Neighbor's boyfriend wanted to help by plowing it. He ended up dumping a bunch of the stones across the street. TLDR. Please leave me alone when it snows.
People being given pets as a surprise gift for Christmas or a birthday. I'm sure many of them will have a good home nonetheless. But some of them will end up in situations that are not fully thought out with people who may not be up to the task of being a responsible pet owner because they either never had a say in it or view pets as toys.
People saying, these are about your size aren't they? And giving me a big bag of clothes. Like, yeah, thanks mum, but nothing is my style and now I'm stuck with a big bag of stuff you should have taken to the charity shop. Not to mention the guilt that some people can create with this. Oh, why don't wear that blouse I gave you.
I've actually had the situation of making myself wear one of my mum's tops to a family event because I thought she'd be happy and have her text me afterwards suggesting I dressed a little less frumpy face with tears of joy.
I have a restrictive diet by most people's standards. I go to social events fully prepared to not be able to eat anything. And I am 100% okay with that. People often go out of their way to accommodate me, which is really nice. And I appreciate the gesture. But to be honest, it just makes me feel uncomfortable and stresses me out. I've gone to weddings where something special was catered for me and it just draws attention to me and provokes questions from other guests. I also feel really bad when people prepare a separate dish or choose a different restaurant just for my sake. I find it really awkward because I feel like a burden and I truly have no issue with eating beforehand.
I absolutely hate being asked, how was your weekend, every single Monday in the office for the rest of eternity.
I agree. I appreciate the gesture, but I have a hard time explaining to all the 50-plus-year-old people at my job that sitting in my house playing video board games is exactly how I wanted to spend my weekend. I'm pretty sure they all think I'm lame and have no life because typically I just shrug and say, it was good. I just hung out with friends, and then walk away.
My go-to response, good, proceeds to look back at my computer screen and furrow my brow to make it look like I'm in deep thought.
People making the suicide gap during heavy traffic. I can't see past your fucking truck or van and I'm not about to stick my car into an active lane that isn't slowing down. Your lane may be stopped but the lane next to you is rolling on, and people who give me that WTF look piss me off to no end. This bullshit is how accidents happen. Just keep moving and I'll wait until I have a clear line of sight to go and not rely on you waving me through to my death. Edit. I understand some people are still confused, so I'll describe it better. This gap only applies to non-highway roads, and for Europeans the US has dedicated lanes that only allow for right turns at the intersection. However, a lot of these right turn lanes start a block or two away and people will move into the lane as soon as it opens up, which means people will be speeding down the lane to get to the intersection to turn right. Of course this means that they won't be able to see past the vehicles, and of course someone will use the opportunity to gun it into the plaza. Of course this gap is perfectly fine to leave open if all lanes are backed up and all lanes are stopped. Another big issue with these gaps is that a lot of the time people will move into the lanes so their vehicles are sideways onto the stopped lanes but are then waiting for the other lane to clear before going, which means they are now blocking 2 lanes of traffic and waiting for the third turning lane to be clear, which will cause even more headaches for everyone involved. Traffic can no longer flow even if the light is green because they've created a roadblock with their vehicles.
Kinda specific to people like me, but do not touch my freaking wheelchair unless I specifically and verbally ask you to. Edit. I just wanna say that I did not expect this to blow up the way it did. I honestly only expected the op to read this and it get buried at the bottom. Whoever gave me silver, thanks.
Guy in my office has a wheelchair. I'm the only person allowed to touch his chair. He kept running over my feet in the elevator despite us both trying to avoid it. So if we're on the elevator together I get to push him in and out.
Would you like some, insert random food or drink? No, I am good but thank you. No, here, take it. No, I really don't want it. Come on, just take it. If I don't want any, don't force me. It isn't a nice gesture once you start hounding me about it.
Can I offer you an egg in these trying times?
Back in high school, the teacher who taught sociology would sometimes tell his class to give someone who looks lonely a high five, or compliment someone who looks sad. So some days I, being the depressed, socially anxious kid with no friends, would get over 50 high fives in one day. Or 23 compliments on my hair when it was just put up in a ponytail. The gestures were unbelievably shallow every time and they never cheered me up, they made me feel looked down on.
This is going to make me sound really miserable. People at work exchanging gifts. I just started in a new job and the people there are really nice. They found out my birthday is coming up and asked me what I want. I thought this was a bit odd, so politely explained they didn't need to get me anything and there was really nothing I wanted. No one else was going to get me anything anyway. They'd already had a collection and gave me £40. Very generous, but now as we're an office of 10 that means I will have to join in with birthday collections for the rest of the year. I didn't get anything. You're just forcing me to spend money I don't have and didn't want to spend. I've got to make sure that I always have precisely £4 on me as well. If I end up putting in a £5 note because that's all I have at the time, I'll be at a net loss by the end of the year. Edit. I guess I should have also mentioned. £30 of the money gifted to me was in Amazon vouchers, so I can't even just put the money to one side for future contributions. I've been actively avoiding Amazon whenever possible as well. A random stranger telling me to smile. Like, what am I? Window dressing for your world? I have RBF even when I'm in a good mood. But the easier way to irritate me is to tell me, hey, smile. Like I don't know you and fuck off. You don't know what's going on in my life. Edit. Hi ho Silver. Gracias.
When you're at the dinner table and people keep offering you food. If I want the food, I promise I will take some.
Hashtag AREYOUSURE. You're eating enough, honey? You look so skinny.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day, you amazing people.